I mean, I said I was gonna start the thing at 8, so like... I appreciate it.
Satiate your thirst. Oh my god.
I don't even like apples. Can we all put? Okay, so anyways, can we all put in agreement? No more Gomez. No.
Yeah. I'm still using him in 3v3s if I play Marksman, so. But 2v2s, I can take 2v2s. That's fair. That's fair. It's just boring too, to be honest. I'm more of the get in your face type.
Definitely.
Oh, yeah.
Do any of them even exist? Because like Cloud of Darkness is considered like an it, right?
Yes.
Wouldn't she probably be an assassin though, like from how she plays?
I don't know.
Yeah, I feel like I don't know though, because they already have Vayne, you know, so like they might just make Tifa an assassin
Beatrix.
to have a.
Beatrix.
Yo, if we get Beatrix, I'd be so hyped.
Fucking.
Alright.
She's from 9, dude.
Ugh. Alright. Oh yeah, so Jay, I want to go to Pandemonium. And I want, I don't know. I think for now I want Esu to play I'm thinking. I'm probably not gonna get to it, but for now I want you to play any Vanguard that, or no. Do you know how Cecil's attacks work? Like,
not really.
I mean, as long as you know the inputs for it.
No.
Oh, they're easy. They're just like standard.
Just the input for his downwards aerial attack, the one where he just goes down with it. Yeah, the Paladin mode. And then Jay can just play any marksman that is not Ace with a search HP attack. Yeah. Alright. Doesn't matter. I only want him for the bravery attack. Alright, let's get this started. Also, I have it in an event lobby, so you guys should have all of the HPs available. That's what Jay told me last time, so he better not have been lying. Alright, cool. Cool.
That's so cool. Dude, some guy was using Soul Eater earlier today in solo queue. He was just wrecking. I was like, damn.
Oh, yeah, go to Pandemonium if you guys forgot. Oh, yeah, Dio. You might want to mute yourself for the stream since you have a lot of background noise. I forgot about that. Or just turn your share mic off. Either one.
No, I'll leave. What?
Yo, Indolent Lard, what's up? Alright. I'll take Solution 9 for now, yeah. Alright.
Like that majority of the
oh yeah, and the summon doesn't matter.
Yeah, sorry, I can't do that.
Alright.
Besides, I gotta get ready for work.
Alright. See ya, Dio.
I live in Ohio. Didn't I tell you guys this?
Oh, I didn't know that.
No.
I swear one time you said that it was 1 AM when it was 1 PM here, and I was super confused. I was like, where the hell do you live that it's 1 AM when it's 1 PM here? Like,
Yo,
Alright, anyway.
I thought you lived in Europe.
Alright, anyway, let's come down to the yeah, that one that you just did. That's what I wanted you to do later. Alright.
Okay, guys.
So
Okay, gotta go. Peace out, guys.
see ya. As I'm sure everyone knows, Zidane is a completely aerial-based fighter. You should, like, literally 95% of the time in the game, you should be in the air. Because all of his ground moves are not as good as his aerial moves. Like, his aerial moves just outclass his ground moves completely. So you should always be moving in a way where your character is in the air, even if it doesn't look like you are. I'll get into that a little bit more later. I'm just gonna go through his bravery attacks first because that's pretty boring, and I'm just gonna break them down real simple like. So, first, his ground neutral. It has a range of 1 ring. So if you look at my minimap, if I place the Cecil about 1 ring away, which is this, it'll hit him. Oh, I misspaced that just slightly. Right here. Oh, okay, I missed. I'm just looking terrible right now. Let me do it. I think. Yep, there we go. So that's the first input. Is just this 2-hit attack. The second input looks like this. He does that little backflip. And you can delay the time between the inputs a little bit. Just like it's not that noticeable. But yeah. And then the third input is the one where he finishes the attack. By just launching them forward like that. Pretty simple. Not going to talk about it much more than that. So his ground forward move is the one that has the most range. And it has a 1.5 ring range, so right about here, yeah. So you can see that was just the tip of it. It's just a very quick 2-input attack. So the main use, and as you can see, it does not wall rush super well. The main use for this is actually to get through Marksman projectiles. Oh, I should have had you play like Terror or something instead, actually. I completely forgot I wanted to talk about this. But if they have a, like, say if you had a Terror Tornado right here, if you use the move from over here, during this first input of the move, where he jumps forward like that, that was so weird that hit you. What the heck? I was so far away. Anyway, so this first input, he has Assassin Poise during the... Does it have more range than I thought it did? That's really weird. It has more than one... I thought it only had 1.5 rings, but... What the heck? Is that must be a net play shenanigans. Like, there's no way. There's no way it has that much range. I refuse to believe that. I don't know. That was weird. Okay, anyway. This whole first input, where he jumps forward like that, he has poise. So you can poise through like tornadoes or the Kefka core is another good example. Any of the traps that a marksman lays out that they want to just like protect themselves with by standing behind it, you can poise through it with his ground forward like that, and then push them out of it. The only bad thing is that the move doesn't do that much damage. It only does I think it's like 4. Wait, I'm not sure. Let me see. It does 464 damage, so it's not that much. If it's I'm pretty sure a charged Kefka core does more damage than that, and most marksman traps deal about equal damage to that. So it might not be like your optimal strategy unless you really need to get them on a wall rush. And even then, it's not guaranteed that you're gonna get the wall rush because, as I just said, it doesn't have that good knockback for wall rushing the enemy. They would have to be really close to the wall already for you to get the wall rush. Like, right here maybe. Like you'd have to be that close to the wall. And if a marksman is that close to the wall, they're probably not going to be just sitting behind their trap. They're probably going to try to get out of the situation. So it's very situational when you'd want to do this. The other reason you'd use this move is to get height. So not to hit the enemy, just to get height. Because it puts you about, I would say, like a short hop into the air. So you can just think of it as like an extra half a jump. A lot of Zidane players, since there's nothing for Zidane to do in the neutral at the start of a match, a lot of times you'll just use this move at the start to get a little bit of height and then start dashing around looking for openings. But you shouldn't fall into that trap too often, because if you do that at the start of the match, it's highly likely that before you even get a chance to go in on the enemy, your gauge is going to be at like half or like close to half already, and then you've just depleted your B-stores. Alright, finally, his ground backwards attack is a one input attack. Just a tornado. It has slight suction, as you can see. It's pulls Cecil towards him. If you don't get a hit, the only way to cancel this animation is to do a dodge out of it. But if you wanna, this attack also has poise during the whole tornado. So during this whole animation, if a marksman shoots you, you'll poise through the projectile. So as you can see, as I just did, if you get a hit, you can dash cancel out of it. This move is Zidane's like main defensive move, I would say. When you get, I'm gonna go into scoop out a little bit later. So when you get hit by a assassin or a vanguard, and if you're the first one to land on the ground, this is important. If you're the first one to land on the ground before the enemy, like when you clash with them, you know, and then you're both in that little hit stun, and if you land on the ground first, this move is a great move to use because it covers Zidane from most assassin attacks. Most assassins won't be able to poise through the tornado. Instead, they'll get blown away. So even if you take like 100 damage from it, you're still gonna gain 300. Oops. You're still gonna gain 300 bravery from it. I also use this against vanguards who, if they drop me, like if they're holding me and then they drop me, I might use this to try and get out of it. So, there's that. And then also if the enemy is doing a get up, so like if I just put you in this and then you're stuck doing that, you can just stellar circle in front of them and try to hit them like that afterwards. A lot of times what that's good for is if you have an ally who's also looking at them, and because you're stellar circling on top of them, it forces them to dodge out of it, otherwise they're gonna get hit. Or they can shield it, but if they step out of it, it gives your allies a chance to hit them. And that's like a thing that you want to be careful of, you want to pay attention to, is being able to set up your allies like that. Alright, so that covers his ground moves. Yeah, so I'm gonna make sure I didn't miss anything. Alright, so now for his aerial moves. So his air neutral is the one that you're gonna be using this one probably like the third most out of his bravery attacks, I would say. It's the third most common one. So this is what it looks like. This is the first input, is just two slashes. And it has pretty good range. It has about a circle of range, I think, which is pretty good for a melee character. So that's the second input, is the next three attacks. So you can, I'll just, so two inputs, and then the third one is the knockaway, obviously. This is another good one to set up your teammates as well, because it has a really long animation. Or I mean like, longer than all of his other moves, basically. So, another thing you can do is you can kind of, this is something that Zidane has like this kind of luxury about, is that you can choose whether or not you want to continue to string, or like, I mean, I know you can do this on most characters, but because the second input on his attack goes for so long, you kind of have time to like, during the second input, look at the minimap and say, oh, is the enemy close by to me? Am I in trouble? Guess not. I'll finish the attack, you know? And you can just kind of look at it, and you have this so long to just look at it. And if you're in trouble, okay, don't finish the string, just back off, you know? So that's like a luxury that Zidane has, is to just... Oh, and yeah, that's the other thing, is that since the move comes out so fast, if you whiff it, you can just spam the button and try to get it out immediately afterwards again. Yeah. One thing you have to be careful about, though, about if you try to set up your teammates, is how far carries the enemy, you move about like a little bit less than a circle and a half, I think, when you do the attack. So you have to be careful because if your ally has like a pillar surge HP, you could very easily carry them out of the pillar surge HP. So you have to be careful about like how you set up your allies, and like if you see them caught in an HP attack, you have to be careful that you don't carry them out of it on accident. And then another thing you can do with it is oh yeah, so SU actually this time pick Terra. Yeah. Yeah, so that I can show poising through the tornadoes. So I know, I'm sorry, dude. I'm just talking the whole time and you just have to sit there and listen. You're captive here. Huge shout out to Jay and Essie, by the way, who are my teammates, for sitting through this whole thing. They're gonna be stuck with me for a while. So you can because the animation is so long, if someone is getting up, you know, after they were in hit stun, they press the jump button to do their get up recovery where they do that little flip and they're invulnerable during it, you can actually kind of run up to them, and if you time your neutral bravery correctly, you can force them to either dodge or shield, pretty much, like because the attack lasts so long, Zidane can catch them out of their get up recovery. That's like another kind of troll thing that you can do. Obviously you can get really punished for it though, because if you're just going that ham on an enemy, it's possible that their allies will look at you and be like, what is this Zidane doing? But and also if it's like in a team setting, obviously their ally is gonna be calling out. Oh yeah, so come like down here so you can have the tornado on the same level. Yeah. So like stand like over here when you do it so I can like show what I mean. Yeah. Yeah. So you can see there how I very easily poised through it with his forward bravery. But it might not always be the best case to trade with it, because like I think I gained like a total of 100 bravery there. Like it's not that much. Anyway, so yeah, so you can come over here, Essie. Yep. Oh wait, my bad. I want to be on the other side of you. Alright. So you can... I did it too late there. I'm gonna do it again. I think I did it too early that time. I'm too close to the wall. Oh yeah, so yeah, that's like another thing about his neutral layer, is that since you travel so far, you can really easily get wall rushes off of it because you carry them so far and you get them, you're like, oh, the wall isn't close enough, I'll just bring them to the wall, like, real fast. You can see how, like, I carried him all the way to the wall. So, that's like the most important thing about his neutral attack, is that he moves so far. And because he moves with the enemy when he's doing it, it's possible for you to actually avoid like wave HP attacks by just finishing the move, because the wave HP attack will just fly behind Zidane. Alright, let's see if we're far enough this time. Really? Okay, I did not expect it to wall rush you from that far away. Let's move further back then. So you can kind of pressure the enemy like that. When you see they're doing their get up, you just run in and do another neutral air. Or like that. See how I caught him out of the neutral get up? If you time it correctly, you can just do that. And then it forces them to either shield or step. And that's, again, another opportunity for your ally to step in and do their own thing. Alright. Finally, his air forward, the one that is his most important bravery attack. So Esu, do like 2 jumps. 2 full jumps. Yeah. So it has really good range and it can go at multiple angles. So it can climb really high like that, or just really like an even lower angle. It can go at all types of angles. And this is obviously his most important move because it's how he sets up all of his allies. Like, I'm sure all of you have gotten tilted from being just caught in a scoop. He can also use it from ground level, like this. And what's most important is that you can delay when you do the second input of the attack. So all of these times when I'm doing it as fast as I can. I'm just mashing the attack button. But if I do it slower, you can kind of very clearly see that I'm doing it much slower. And you have until he finishes this jump into the air, you have until the end of that to do the second input. So you can, when you're setting up an ally, you kind of want to do it as slow as you can, because while they're stuck in the scoop, they're not going to move. So if your ally has like a pillar HP attack, you can, by just doing it slowly, guarantee that it's going to hit. Let's see. And then finally, the most important thing is that, alright, so you do 2 jumps and then do a sidestep. So you can reactively catch someone out of a jump with this move. Or, I mean, it's a sidestep. So even if you can't see them, you can see how my target line suddenly, like, how it suddenly jumps to the side like that. That lets you know that they did a dodge. And then you can use scoop art reactively out of that to catch them. That's going to come important later on. So, something that I like to do is if I'm pressuring an enemy marksman, I'll chase after them, and then I'll drop slightly. So I'll be dashing at them, and then I'll just like stop and then drop under them, and then I'll wait, because a lot of times they'll freak out. They'll see you drop beneath them, and then they're like, oh shoot, he's gonna use a scoop art. Times to dodge, and they dodge too soon. And then you just react to their dodge and scoop them. So you can just, it's really easy to react to it and do it. I highly recommend you try it at home, because it's just so easy. You don't even have to be stressed about it. It's just like, oh, they dodged? Okay, time to catch them with a scoop. Yes, Jay is a victim of this quite often, and many other marksmen are as well. So if you're against a Zidane and he is beneath you, you want to be careful about when you do your step, because Zidane players can just be patient and catch you out of it. So yeah, that's going to be really important later on. But for now, I'm going to move on to his air backwards, which is probably his least used of his aerial attacks. But that doesn't mean that it's bad. I would say it's terrible for wall rushing at enemies, so don't do that. But it can be good for other things. So one thing is that if you come back to the ground, Esu, for me real fast. So excuse me. If you're in the air, this move, and you're close to the ground like this, this move has slightly more than 1 ring of range. So, it covers a lot of distance, and it does it really quickly. So I like to use this move. So most people will see this and be like, oh, it's just the opposite of scoop art. You know, you use it when the enemy is beneath you. But I don't think that's true. I think what you want to do is you want to use this move when the enemy is on the same level as you. Because you cover a lot of distance with it, and you can move, you move so much during this move that it's actually pretty safe. because you jump backwards afterwards. So if another enemy is trying to hit you, it's highly possible that you'll just evade their attack by simply with the animation of Zidane's backwards aerial. And if you're in the air, it'll hit them if they're at the same level as you. If I can just get up to Esu. Let's try and be higher in the air, here. So if it'll catch them if they're in the same level as you. But it doesn't have yeah. So something else of note is that I'm like forgetting all these things that I wanted to show you guys, and I'm just like not preparing you well for it. So if say the enemy marksman was here, so it's just Esu is here waiting to land an HP attack on me, and their assassin is in the air chasing after me. If they're above, so if the assassin is at this level above the marksman, and they're chasing after you, you can actually target onto the assassin, use this, and it'll tag both of them. If you're in the air above them and they're in a straight line beneath you, you can use this, and it'll tag the assassin and the marksman. And because it puts the marksman in this hit stun during it, they can't follow up on you having done an input and punish you. So you can use that to catch both of them, finish the attack on the assassin, and then get out of the situation. It's something that I often look for, like if that situation just happens to come up where the marksman is standing a little bit too close to the assassin or whoever's trying to set me up, I can just do this attack and then dash out of it, get out of there. Oh yeah, another thing I obviously need to go into is that his air forward and his air backwards are really good for escaping. If like, for example, if a cloud wall rushed you, and he's going for that BM, like fully charged cross slash on you, and he's like, oh, I'm just gonna wait for him to dodge out of this, you know? Instead of dodging, just input one of Zidane's, either if you're high in the air, use Zidane's air backwards, or if you're pretty low, just use his air forward. You're gaining enough height that the cross slash can't track you. And then you just dash away from him. And make him look like a fool in the process. So it's like a huge win for you. So that's like the main thing for those. The final attack for bravery is his dash attack, and this is Zidane's most important attack in his whole kit, I believe. This is obviously my opinion, you guys are free to disagree with me. I know that scoop art is very important, his air forward scoop art is very important, but I think that steal and mug are equally as important. For this, Esu, I want you to choose either a marksman or an assassin, it's up to you. But, or no, sorry, choose Zidane. So the way that steal works is that when you apply what the steal buff and debuff does is it takes away 5% of the enemy's stats and adds 5% to all of your stats, and that's attack, defense, and speed. Which is a huge boon to Zidane, because if you hit an enemy with the steal debuff, and then you start engaging on that enemy, you now have a 10% overall greater attack than they do, if that makes sense. Because they have the -5 from defense, and you have the +5 for attack. And then if you apply the mug debuff, that 5% changes to a 10%. So you gain a 20% total gain over them. All right. So what makes steal so important is one, the debuff and the buff, which you want to keep the buff up at all times when you're playing Zidane. It's that, like, just to maximize his damage. What's also important is that, as you can see, it launches the enemy behind you. It doesn't launch them away. It launches them up and behind you, which is very important for Zidane. Most importantly, it launches them up. That's the most important part of it. Pineapple? Question mark? I don't know what you mean by that. But so Mug, so the angle that they get launched at depends on whether you're on the ground or in the air. So if I do the dash while I'm on the ground, you can kind of see he doesn't get launched as high into the air, but if I do it in the air, he gets launched higher. So whenever you, this is important, as I was talking about, when you're playing Zidane, you want to be in the air at all times. So if you're dealing the steal attack, you want to do a neutral dash, or you want to do a neutral dash and then change the direction, so that you're in the air when you do the steal attack. That's the most important part about when you do the input. And then, because it doesn't launch the enemy away from you, the nerf on steal was noticeable because I play Zidane in a way where I'm using steal all the time. But once you get used to it, you can do all the same things that you could do with it before. So, there wasn't that big of a nerf. It was really minor. They would have to nerf Zidane a lot more for him to become unviable. So, yeah, so... Alright. I'll go over his HP attacks next. So it's a good thing that SU took free energy. So SU, use free energy on me right now. So, do it again. So you can see that it has slight tracking on it at the start, and that's really important. So if you say, alright, so Jay, when I'm gonna scoop Esu, use Apocalypse as late as possible. Like use it when he does his get up animation. Too early. You did it way too early, dude. You got excited. You're like, alright, I get to hit someone. But yeah, so do it when he's doing his get up animation. Like now. So because he's forced to step out of that, right? So actually come back down here, Esu. So we're on flat ground. So you can dash up to him. Oh, okay. And then that's slight tracking on free energy. What you do is you use it at the same time as your allies using Apocalypse. And I forgot to take free energy, so I can't show you guys. But oops. So you can just stand next to him after. Sorry, I'm messing up with these inputs. So you stand where he is, and then you just basically wait. And when you see the Apocalypse come out, that's when you use free energy, because that's not free energy, that's Solution 9. But that's when you use free energy, and that tracking on it will track his dodge, and then you'll catch him with the HP attack afterwards. So you can easily team up with your allies like that, and all you need is for your ally to force him to dodge at the same time as you do, at the exact same time you do the free energy input. So that's like the main way that you can team up with your ally to use it, and I think it's something that is important to point out. It also has good range, obviously, and it's his second fastest HP attack, Solution 9 being faster. And it also has a small bravery potion, so if the enemy just did an HP attack and you do free energy, you'll break them. Which can also be very nice to get that extra 1000, or if you have Bahamut, 1100 damage. And then it's very safe to use on like Slice and Dice and Mirage Dive, those attacks that are so hard for melees to interrupt. You can just kind of run up and then free energy them. And you're just kind of like, what are you doing using Slice and Dice or Mirage Dive in front of me? I'm just gonna hit you out of it. And then the last thing it does, yes, I'm gonna go into that next, Indolent, so I'm glad you asked. So, lastly, free energy applies the steal debuff. So, when you use it on them, they're gonna get the minus 5%, or if you're in Trance, it'll be the minus 10% debuff on their stuff. Alright, so Solution 9 is Zidane's fastest attack. it surrounds him in this giant hitbox, as you can see, and it comes out the fastest. So what I like the most about this move is that you can be looking somewhere else, and you can just look at your minimap, and if you see that the enemy is close by, without targeting them, you can use it and try to hit them with it. I'm misspacing it on purpose so that I don't kill Esir here, but you can do like this and just be watching them, and if you don't land a hit, you can just target them immediately afterwards to check what they're doing. This move is also safe, or pretty safe on raw rushes, because a melee character can't just like run in from behind you like they could with free energy. So, yes, that's another thing about Solution 9, is that because it comes out so fast, it is actually Zidane's fastest way to break the core. Just 3 Solution 9s is how most Zidane players will break the core from top to finish. The reason that I take Solution 9 over free energy is because it puts me in the trance mode, and I'm gonna go into that. Well, actually, so I wonder how you can break the core with Solution 9. I'm not gonna show you that. That's so boring. What instead I'm gonna show you is the cool, fancy way to break the core on Zidane when you want to style on your enemies, and this is what you do. So you stop. So you do. Oh, you messed it up, dude. And then you would steal from the core at the very end. So you do scoop into the backwards aerial, and then you do a steal on it afterwards. And the steal breaks the core, and the way I like to think of it is you're pocketing the core. Like, you're stealing the core at the very end. You're like, I'm gonna just take this and put it in my back pocket real fast. So I think that it looks cool. And also the fact that you're like going up, and then you come down on the core, and then you just steal from it at the end. I don't know, it just looks cool. I am too, dude. I like Tidal a lot too, that's why. But I wanted to make sure I did the Zidane one good. So that's how I break the core if I have a lot of time, and if I just want to like look good doing it. And you just do that. It looks pretty cool. I think it looks pretty cool. I don't know, you guys are free to disagree, but I think that's the coolest way I've seen to break the core from any character. All of that movement and like just pocketing the core at the end, I don't know. Alright, I'm gonna stop talking about it because it's not that important. So, next I'm gonna go into Trance. So, oh yeah, so as I said, the reason I take Solution 9 is because if you land a hit, it puts you into Trance. And Trance changes a lot of things about Zidane. So, one, it changes the amount of damage that Steel does. It changes from 80 to 224. But also, it changes the distance that they get knocked back. So, this is the distance that they get knocked back from just a Steel. You can kind of see it's about like a circle and a half. Trance knocks them back further, about 2 circles. You could see, I shouldn't have moved. So it knocks them back about 2 circles, much further. And it also knocks them higher into the air by doing it. So, the other thing about, and if you physically use Trance, like not from Solution 9, but you activate it as a unique EX skill, it has an Esinaga effect on you, which means that it removes all the debuffs that are applied to you. And I think that's like the most important thing about it, because no other character has like a free Esinaga basically on them at all times. So if you see that the enemy has Enfeeble in the loading screen, I would highly recommend just saving Trance. Don't, like, make a mental note, don't use it until you see them use Enfeeble. And if they use Enfeeble on you, just use Trance to immediately get rid of the Enfeeble debuff, get your dash gauge back up, and then like you can save your allies, you know, you can do all this stuff that you can't normally do when you're Enfeebled. The same goes, it's like it's not as important for like Ren's Shield, because I feel like Ren's Shield isn't as debilitating, but for Enfeeble in particular, or Bindga as well, if you get hit with a Bindga, you can use Trance to immediately remove the bind and get out of the sticky situation that you're in. And that's what I save it for. If I see the enemy has Enfeeble or Bindga, I'm gonna save my Trance for those situations, because I know that I'm gonna forget they have it, I'm gonna get hit, and I need to get out of that situation. So, just keep that in mind. And that's why I like Solution 9, because I want to have that mug debuff of the minus 10% and the plus 10% to me at all times. But I also want to keep the ability to use Trance whenever I want. Alright. So that finishes all of his moves. Now I get to move on to the fun part. How to actually play as him, because that's what you came here to see. So, so what I'm gonna start with is movement on Zidane, and I think that for Zidane, the position you want to be in at all times is under the enemy. You always want to be under the enemy. Nah, dude. I'll go over Tidal Flame at the end if I have time. I feel like it's too troll to go over, but if you really want it though, I'll try to cover Tidal Flame at the end. So when you're moving as Zidane, something that I like to do is, I showed you guys a little bit earlier, but you want to use, as Zidane, you're always wanting to use like a target dash, because a target dash puts you in the air. But you don't want to have that drawback of you're just target dashing at an enemy, so it's very telegraphed where you're gonna move. So the way that I get out of that is I do this. So I'm gonna I target dash at him, and then you can see how my character starts the dash animation, but then turns. Like I'm facing him, and then he turns like that. And this dash doesn't look like it, but I am in the air right now. And it can be very deceiving to the enemy, because Zidane's moves, as I explained earlier, all of his aerial moves outclass his ground moves. So when they see you dashing like this, they might think, oh, he's on the ground. But he's not. He's actually in the air. And so you can catch people with your scoop. You can catch people with the aerial steal. And that's, I think, the most important thing about moving on Zidane, is tricking the enemy into thinking that you're on the ground when you're not, so that they can't expect you to use scoop on them. So again, all you have to do is just press the R1, like, and if you a normal like side directional dash, you can see how there's this trail of dust behind him. That means that you're on the ground. That is not aerial. So how you do it is you just press R1 to do a directional dash, but then before the animation, before you start doing the dash animation, you change what direction you pressed. So like you don't have any analog stick direction pressed. What you do is you press the R1, and then you input a direction afterwards. So you can see how that trail of dust that is usually behind Zidane is gone. And even if you change directions after this with your dash, you're going to remain in the air. But you can tell you're doing it wrong if that trail of dust is left behind Zidane. So that's like the most important thing about moving on Zidane, is doing this dash, but then putting a direction in, so that you can freely move where you want to without being on the ground. And that's really important, because scoop and steal are so important to Zidane's kit that you want to make sure that you can always do it the way you want to. Yep, this is why I'm making this stream, so I can explain to you guys all the cool things you can do with these characters. So yeah, so you always want to do that when you're dashing. You almost never want to do like a side directional dash, like how the game usually does it. Instead, you want to just do R1 and then input a direction. So like you can see how that sitting position, or not sitting position, sorry, this position where it looks like Zidane is gonna kick off of a wall. Yeah, you can do this with any character, but I think it's most important with Zidane because his aerial attacks are so important to him. You can see how he goes into this position where it looks like he like kicks off of a wall. That's his dash startup animation. So you can see that he does this, and you can see how my character like turns afterwards and starts doing the dash. Alright, so that covers his movement. And yeah, so you always want to be beneath the enemy. I would, like, a lot of Zidanes like to go into the air high above the enemies, and like, yeah, you get the vertical positioning from being above them, and like enemies can't hit you, but you're also not doing your allies any favor by abandoning them up into the sky, you know? That's why I don't think it's a good thing to do. Like, at the start of matches, I might do like one scoop art into the air and that's it. I'll let myself fall back a little bit and then start dashing around, because I always like to fall a little bit after my attack. So like here, I don't do a step out of it, I just let my animation finish, and I just, so that I can be beneath the enemy. Because you want to be able to land scoops on them, and you can't land a scoop on them if you're above the enemy. Just looks cool. I had to do it. Alright, so anyway, yeah. So you always want to be beneath the enemy at all times. And then obviously, if you're playing against a Zidane, like, I would be more thankful if they're above me than if they're below me. I would prefer that, honestly. If you guys just saw, I removed the Ren Shield debuff by using Trance there. Alright. Let's go into linking attacks together as Zidane. So, first, I'll go over linking his forward air to his back air. So, let me show you how to not do it first. You don't have to jump for this, Esu. Wait, did I really connect on you, Esu? I feel like it shouldn't have. Is that connecting on you, Esu? Like, are you pressing the get up button? You're not saying anything, dude. You're just leaving me in the dark. Alright, whatever. Really? Wow, what the heck? Oh, okay. Well, anyway, I'm too good at this. I need to. All right, so so if you what you don't want to do is see this animation where Zidane is going backwards. Like, I know you want to mash out the I know you want to mash out his backward aerial attack, but you don't want to use it. You like want to cut the dash short. So like that. That's what it should look like. You should see even better would be if the dash animation is imperceptible. Like that. Where you don't even see your character move. All you see is them get into the position to dash, and then you're already inputting the attack. You can connect scoop art into his forward bravery as long as you're low enough to the ground. But obviously, can you jump this time? If you're this high, you're obviously... What the heck? Okay. Maybe I'm just really... Maybe I'm just like high or something, because I've never seen it connect from that high up. But maybe we... Okay, like... Okay, yeah. Actually, can you jump off the ledge like over here? Like start from up here and then jump like this away from it. Up. Oh damn, I was too late. My bad. Ooh, okay. I have to do it after like 2 jumps then. Alright. Oh, okay. I'm just being like really bad right now, but whatever. I want to show you guys how you can't connect it at all times. Okay, do the 3rd jump, but yeah. So if you're this high, you obviously cannot connect it on them. But if you start off the ground, you can usually connect it off of them. If you start from the ground, so like that height above them is where you can connect the forward air into backwards aerial. and it all depends on the height that you start off, or that you end the animation at. So this is too high. It's not gonna connect. But what you can do instead is try to mix them up with Solution 9. So I'm gonna do that now. So I'm too high for it, right? You wait for it to get up, do Solution 9 on them. And there's a specific timing for this. You can't just mash out Solution 9 on them and expect it to hit. What you're waiting, I'll try to point it out. I'm like so used to doing this that I don't think about it anymore, but... So what you're waiting for is when they've, like... Not a whole lot afterwards, but a little bit after they finish that backflip. I messed up. So like that. A little bit after they finish that backflip, when they get up, you're gonna want to use Solution 9 on them. That's the timing. And if you see someone do that to you, you wanna, like, just be mashing that dodge button. Just mash it. Cause you're gonna want to get out of there. Oh, so that's the other thing I wanted to go into, but I'm gonna go into it later, but, so yeah. So you're gonna be looking for that little backflip that they do, and that's when you're gonna use Solution 9 on them, on their get up. Jay is a victim of this, and needs to work on his dodging against it, but, yeah, I'm just gonna throw shade at my marksman, don't worry. So, there's that. Oh, something else I forgot to go over. Something else I forgot to go over is that, when you do the forward aerial bravery into his backwards one, you can actually just do the first input of his backwards one to hold an enemy there for your ally. So like, say your ally marksman used their they're using their search HP, and it's like at that weird timing. Oh yeah, SU, can you take Solution 9? Because I want you to try it on me. I want you to learn the timing. But and I'll take free energy so that I can show what I was talking about earlier about using it at the same time as a search HP to track the enemy. So if you like do that the backwards input after the scoop art, then it's possible for you to just hold the enemy there, and you can basically guarantee that your ally is gonna get their search HP attack off. And also you get a tiny bit of extra brave, right? So it's pretty nice. So the other thing I want to talk about is, what if they shield your grounded scoop art? What do you do there? So if he shields your scoop art, there is actually other stuff that you can do. Alright, so Esu, dash up to me and use scoop art. That is not scoop art. Do you even play this game, Esu? Come on, man. Alright, so I'm gonna explain this to you because you and Jay have the same problem. So what you do is you dash, let go of the dash button, and then do the input. So you dash at the enemy like this, right? And before you do the input, let go of the dash button. Yeah, see how you did a neutral attack there? That wouldn't have come out if you had held the dash button down. So now you just did it while pressing forward. It doesn't matter. You just a neutral dash, because if you do a grounded dash, you're not gonna do scoop art because it's an aerial move. So it doesn't. Dude, this is the tick. Okay, wait. Maybe this is new news to like everyone that you can like do this dash and like be in the air, but So I'll explain it again. So what you do is you dash up to the enemy. Okay, maybe this would be easier. Just do a jump, let yourself fall, and then do scoop art. Just jump and let yourself fall, you know, so that you're at my height, and then just do scoop art afterwards. Or like not, you know, you don't have to drop too far. You can be like, cause like you just have to be, yeah, you just have to be like this low to catch me, probably. But I want you to do it in my shield, and then, so after you do the shield on me, you're gonna dash down to me and Solution 9 on top of me. Come on, dude. Why are you doing just the second? Why are you doing just the first input? Okay, wait for my shield to recover. I'm teaching my allies the mysteries of this character. All right. Just okay, here. Just jump and then do a neutral dash at me, and that'll guarantee you're in the air. So after that, you dash cancel it, and you have to do this during the first bounce of the shield. So hit me with scoop art again while I'm in my shield. Oh, damn. Alright, hit me. Alright. So, let's try it again. Yeah. Just mash that attack button, dude. Yeah, so see how you bounce that first time high up out of the shield? You actually, if you're doing scoop art, so this time you shield. So, if they're that low, you actually have time to dash cancel it and get up to their shield. And if you do it before, like, you have to do it during the height of that jump, but if timed correctly, and if you're low enough to the ground, you can connect Solution 9 to it as a true combo. This is a very rare case because it's pretty rare that you're doing scoop art on an enemy who is on the ground in front of you. So, it's pretty rare, but you can do it. It's actually a combo. That you can do on the enemy. So you would dash up, and then that's when you would use Solution 9 there. And another thing you can do is you could instead elect to go for a second scoop art. But if you do a second scoop art, you cannot connect onto their shield with Solution 9 afterwards. So it's like a selection of which one you want to do. So see, it doesn't connect if you actually hit them. It has to be in their shield. So you can try it on Jay if you want. I just didn't do the get up there. But yeah, so it's really hard to time because you can't. The thing is that you can't dash so far that you get down to the same level as them. Oh, that's another important thing. So yeah, do that again actually. Do a scoop on me where Jay is behind me. So you're targeting Jay, but you land the first hit of scoop on me. So Jay, you have to come, like, Jay, come up here. And then I'll move like down here, and then you use scoop art from down here, while Jay is up there, and you target him. So if you land the first part of scoop art on someone else, oh, that's not, I don't know. It was interesting earlier how, anyway, if you land scoop art, and you only land a second input on someone when they're, or like you only hit them with a second input, but they're on the ground really close to it, you can just Solution 9 straight up, even if you hit them. They'll be in hit stun long enough that Solution 9 will connect, as long as you dash cancel out of it, and then Solution 9 immediately. So, anyway. Yeah, so you can do that, where the Solution 9 on the shield with scoop art, it's very hard to do. I honestly do not recommend doing it because if you mess up, you're stuck in a very, very bad position because you just use an HP attack on someone in their face, you know, and they're in a position to now punish you. So, like it's not the safest option, but if you really want to style on the enemy and you really want to land that HP attack, you know, you can go for it. It's just you have to make sure you do it correctly. Alright. Finally, the last application of scoop art into backwards. Come here, Esu. This is the thing we were testing earlier. So, if you're getting cornered by an enemy and you are close to a wall behind you like this, an interesting interaction happens with the wall, actually. So, when you do scoop art, Zidane kind of does this like jump backwards above the enemy, and when he's doing the scoop art, he's like rubbing along the back wall, but because it's there, it controls where he goes. So if you're in a corner like this, it is actually possible for you, and say like the enemy Zidane was chasing after you, right? Like they're in the air, like as most Zidanes should be, you know, they're in the air above you and they're chasing after you, and you're over here and you're like, okay. So I scoop them, slight dash, and then, or, you know, I did that wrong, but you connect the aerial backwards immediately afterwards, and it's possible to wall rush them onto the corner, and you completely turn that situation around. Yeah, I think you need to be a little bit further back away from me, but like right here. Yeah. I think we're too high actually, maybe just one jump. Like do the full jump, you know, how you hold down the button to jump higher, yeah. Oh, I'm too high again. Well, I'll just show it from the grounded scenario instead. So if an enemy is chasing after you, like how I said before, and using this movement that I just taught you guys, you can dash up to them, do the scoop. Oh, I did it wrong. Whoa, that was so weird. How did it not wall rush you there? I think it's because at the very end, I was moving in the wrong direction, or Zidane got moved in the wrong direction, but... as you can see, it's hard to land that backwards aerial attack afterwards. Okay, well that wasn't really true because I wasn't in the corner, but nah, I need to show this to you guys because it's so cool. Oh my gosh, I'm so mad that the backwards is not wall rushing there. But here, see, and then you would run up and you'd use the HP attack, and you're like in the corner here, you're trapped, and this is how you get out of it, and you turn the situation completely around. Or you just do that and you just run away, you know, you get out of there. But if this situation comes up, do not be afraid to do it, because it could literally put you at a huge advantage to be able to get that HP attack off. The reason that I don't like using his backwards aerial attack is because if you wall rush them, because in the animation Zidane jumps back away from the enemy, it is actually possible that you will not have time to dash up and use an HP attack. They will get off of the wall before you can get your HP attack off. I've seen that happen to me multiple times, and I've just been like tilted. I was just like, how what are you doing, game? How are you telling me that Zidane's HP attacks are not fast enough to get a wall rush here? But in that scenario, you'll always have time to dash up and use your HP attack. So, using your aerial backwards in a corner like that is one, like, a specific situation that I would highly recommend using it in, because, like, I don't know, those corners just do all sorts of jank with Zidane when he's moving around in, like, the camera, that I feel like the chances of you getting a wall rush in that corner off of the enemy chasing you into it is actually pretty high. Or not pretty high, but, like, it's high enough that it can happen, and you should not be surprised if it does. Alright. Before I move on to the real meat of my stream, I'm gonna show you guys that free energy with the Surge HP setup that I was talking about earlier. Let me just drink some water real fast. So if anyone, oh by the way, you just reminded me, SU, since you're playing Tidal, since I said this earlier about how you can do that with any character, the dash movement thing. It's also important on Tidal because since it puts you in the air, you can then do his diving attack while really close to the ground. Yeah, like that. How you kind of did that, but then you're able to do his backwards thing. So, all right. Anyway, moving back on to Zidane. So, all right, Jay. So I'll just show it. So stand still, SU. So Jay, just use your search HP on him so that SU has to dodge. So just HP him. So like that. It's real easy. You just see that the search HP comes out, and you just use free energy. So you can just do it again if you want. Like that. You just catch them. And it's a guaranteed hit. And you can do that out of the scoop art. So if your ally is not ready for the scoop art, they're late, you just go like that. Wait, you wait for the HP from your ally to be about to hit, you activate free energy, and the enemy will dodge, but free energy will track them, and you hit them. That's the exact way you want to use free energy on an enemy. Oops, I did not mean to use it there. So, what was I gonna say? I lost my train of thought. Oh, right. So, as I was showing you guys earlier how you can use Solution 9 on someone's getup, you can do a similar thing with free energy. You just have to time it really differently. So, oh no, we're too close to a wall here. So as you can see there, I was way too early. Like there was no way I was gonna hit them. So you have to time it like that. And what you want to do is you want to condition the enemy into stepping. So you can trick the enemy into stepping by continuing to use it early, like how I did, where it's not gonna hit, but the enemy thinks it will. So they step like that, and they're like, oh, okay, I'm going to be able to get out of this if I step immediately in. You keep using free energy on their getup, so that they continue to think, oh, I'm just going to keep stepping, and then they get used to it. And that's when you catch them. And then you do it slightly later, so that you catch their dodge. Like that. So, on Zidane, that's like... conditioning your enemy as a Zidane player is very important. So, alright, so anyway, I showed you guys what I meant by catching them out of their search HPs. So keep that in mind if you're taking free energy on Zidane, because that's like exactly how you should use it, is pairing with your teammate and then waiting for their step. Alright. Alright, Jay, this time, so Jay, again, use a search HP on him. I'm not going to HP SU this time because I don't want to kill him, but I can show you something else you can do. So you can, I did it too late there, do it again. You can dash up and then use your neutral attack on them. And you can try and set them up again. Or, if you want to be fancy, so do it again. You can do a scoop on them. You just have to be ready for it. Like, you have to know that your ally is going to be forcing them to dodge. Or to do that animation. You don't attack Jay. You don't get to attack Jay. Not to, so, keep in mind that that's important. Being able to catch someone's step by just neutral dashing at them and then using your neutral attack. That's important. So Alright. Alright. Now this is the part of Zidane that I love the most, and this is playing rock, paper, scissors, or as I call it because I'm from Hawaii, John Ken Po, with your enemy. So, I showed you guys earlier how after steal, oh, let me land it on you, SU. It knocks them up and behind you. So come over here so that we're on a flat surface and my camera isn't gonna get messed up by the wall. So, all right. After they're put into the steal animation, there is 5 possibilities that they can do. 5 possible things that the enemy can do, and you have to be prepared to react to any of those. And I'm gonna go over what each of those is and how you should handle the situation as a Zidane player. So, all right, I see. So first, oh, I have free energy. All right, so first I want you to I'll go over that one last then. So do a sidestep. So after you do the get up animation, do a sidestep. So remember how I said earlier you can react to a sidestep with scoop? That's exactly when you're gonna use it. So what you do is after you steal from them, you do a sidestep back towards them. Do a short dash out of the sidestep so that you maintain your aerial height. And then you wait for the sidestep, do scoop. And it's a very easy thing to react to, as I said. You know, it's pretty clear that they do it. You can completely see that they do it. And you just calmly use scoop on them. And you keep them trapped there. And this is it's important because you're thinking like, okay, but that's if they do a sidestep, right? There's so many other things they can do. Alright. So now for the next one, SU. This time you're not gonna do anything. You're just gonna fall to the ground. So this is the scary one. The enemy could do anything here. So if you do an attack on them like that when they're on the ground, they can pretty easily, or not easily, but they can predict when you're gonna do an attack, and then they can just do their get up animation. Like they can just delay it, you know, wait for it, get the invulnerability to dodge out of your attack and then escape from you. So what I like to do here is I like to try and scare them. So if they do that, where they just fall to the ground, what I'll do is I'll jump over them so that they're not sure what I'm gonna do. They're like, oh shoot, he's probably gonna come down with a downwards bravery attack. And then that's when they do their get up animation. So I jump over them, and then and then they get scared. They're like, oh shoot, you know, and then they do their get up animation. And then that's when you come down with either a solution 9. You solution 9 their ass because you're like, oh, I know the timing and I'm just gonna get a free hit here, you know? Or you can try and scare them even more. So another thing I like to do is after they fall. Damn, dude, you really did that to Jay, huh? All right, so what you do is you jump after them, and then a lot of times they're like, oh shoot, he's gonna use solution 9. So then they step, right? So this time SU, like, in particular, step this way towards the wall. Oops, my bad. No, I meant like fall to the ground, and then delay your get up, you know, like when I jump over you do your get up, and then sidestep towards the wall. Yeah, oh, I did my dash in the wrong direction. Anyway, let me try this again. So you run up, neutral them, put them on the wall, and then you HP them and get the kill. That's another thing you can do, is you can mix them up like that. You can see that you can try and freak them out, and if they do a sidestep, you reactively just dash in and use your neutral air on them. But honestly, when they delay their get up, that is like the scariest thing for a Zidane because you can't do anything about it. You know, you can't control what they're gonna do. And I'm gonna go into how you can get them to do specific things for you later. So oh damn, I wanted to catch you right before you did the last hit, but whatever. Alright, so now for the next thing. Alright, so SU. This time, oh, let's come back down here. So, This time, after you do, so do your regular get up animation, you know, in the air after the steal, and then dash out of it. So, if you think they're gonna dash, you have to immediately scoop art them. And this works on any class. So this works really well if you can see the enemy, because you can see how the characters have that animation of they bend their knees, and if you have fast enough reactions, you can react to that and then use scoop. But you have to do it really quickly. You have to do it immediately. And it's hard because like they can do that, or they could do a sidestep. And if they do a sidestep, you're gonna miss your scoop art. So you have to be careful about it. Like this is what I mean by you're playing rock paper scissors with the enemy. You know, you don't know what they're gonna do, and they don't know what you're gonna do, and you're trying to see who is gonna do the right option. All right, so 2 more things that they can do. I've only covered 3. There's 2 more things that they can possibly do out of the steal hit stun. So this time, Esu, I want you to choose go back to Cecil. Alright, so obviously not all enemies are gonna be afraid of you, and sometimes they're gonna fight back, and that's where characters like Cecil, Cloud, Noctis, Kane, Zidane, Kuja, any of those guys who have a downward aerial attack where they can go down, you have to be really careful about those kind of characters. You have to look at the player, and you have to figure out whether the player is one of those guys who's gonna fight you after you steal from them, or they're the type of character that, or the type of player that's gonna try and get away from you after you steal from them. So this time, yeah, that move exactly. So after I steal from you, Esu just use that move. All right. Yep. So he just poises through you because he's a Vanguard. You know, they get that. So if you're, and this is especially scary for Cecil because he goes at an angle, and the thing is that angle matches your scoop art angle, so you're never gonna win. You will never win against a Cecil if he does that. So you have to be really careful, and this is in your, when you're by yourself. You have to be careful about him doing that. All right, so the last thing I wanted to talk about, or the last option, I meant to choose Solution 9 here, but I moved my analog stick in the wrong direction and chose free energy, and I mean not free energy. I chose a Tidal Flame instead, so I can't show it to you. Yeah, Vayne 2, any of those characters that have that downward angled bravery attack, they can catch you. So the thing about, if it's a Noctis or a Cloud, they fall straight down. They do not go at an angle, right? So the thing is that if they fall straight, Furion also. Furion falls straight down with his bravery attack. If they do that, and you use scoop art on them, you'll actually just go, like, you'll go past each other. They're gonna go straight down, and you're just gonna kind of go over their head with your scoop art. And they can kind of get out of the situation with that. Of course, obviously, the caveat is that they just use the bravery attack, so if you have an ally also looking at them, that puts them in a situation where they're now in their recovery stage of their animation, so they have to wait for that. But Alright, so the last thing that they can do is they can immediately get up and then shield drop. So if they shield drop, because you just did the steal animation, you took a step, you dash towards them, you're directly underneath of them. I take solution 9 because of this. If they shield drop, you just solution 9. Immediately solution 9 on reaction. Most times, players will not be able to react to the solution 9 coming out and step in time. They're gonna get caught. They're gonna fall into your solution 9 and they're gonna get caught by it. So that's what you do in that situation. What can mess up a Zidane player is if, alright, so SC this time, put up your shield, but then immediately step afterwards. So you see the shield, that was too late. You have to do it where like the shield barely comes out, you know, where like the Zidane player will see the shield, but then you do the step immediately after, like immediately. Yeah, kind of like that. So what happens is the Zidane player sees the shield and he's like, oh, my chance to use solution 9 and expend my bravery, you know, get this hit off, get it down, sweet. So they use solution 9, but then you stepped out of it. The enemy stepped out of it and you miss. And that puts Zidane in a huge disadvantage because now he's in HP attack recovery. You know, which has a lot of recovery frames, and the enemy can just kind of rush in and punish him for it. So that's something that, like, in particular, I think Etros Patron does this to me a lot. They'll be falling, and then they'll shield, and then immediately step. Okay, so this is what I meant, SU, where you shield, and then you see how it like comes out like very briefly. You do it like that, yeah. So the Zidane player is like so trained to look for the shield, and they're like, oh yes, shield, and then they just press solution 9, and then you step out of it, and you're like, haha, I am free. So if you're a Marksman player who gets caught by steal, that is one thing that you can do to try and trick the Zidane player. What you have to be careful about is if the Zidane player is too patient, or I mean like more patient than like I am, for example. They might just not react to your shield and then say, oh, he stepped, I'll scoop him now. You know, so like it's like a double-edged sword, you know. You can sometimes, I would say, if you see that the Zidane player is using solution 9 underneath of you after they steal from you, if they keep doing that, then that's a good time to try and bait it out with a shield and then step. Alright. But all of these situations that I went over, Zidane can't force an enemy to make to do a decision on their own. You know, like Zidane doesn't know what the enemy's gonna do. So if, like, say I thought SC was gonna dash, but he actually does a sidestep instead, then it's like, what can I do besides, or like I use my scoop art and I missed. Uh-oh, he sidestepped it. You know, so what you want is you have your ally force them into making a decision. This is where having an ally with a surge HP comes in real handy. So we've done this before, Jay. You know what I'm talking about. Oops, my bad. My bad. That was not what I meant to do. Let's come down here so we have more room to work with. So they're forced to... Oh, okay. Yeah, so if they don't want to get hit by the Divine Malaysian, they have to step. And you know they're gonna step. You know, like, you know exactly what to do out of that. You see them step, you scoop them. So you scoop them, and then your ally just uses their HP attack again, and it's a guaranteed hit. It is 100% guaranteed. There is nothing they can do about it. If your Marksman has the time to do that for you, to use their HP attack twice like that, it's a guaranteed hit. The enemy, it's a forced interaction between you and the enemy. They can do nothing about it. So because they're forced to step, and this is also where, like, if you had free energy on Zidane, instead of going for the second, No, wait, what am I talking about? Never mind. So, again, for those of you. So, yeah, just like that. And as a Zidane player, remember how I showed you earlier you can delay the attack of the second input? Since you're setting up your ally Marksman, you're going to want to go through it slowly. Like that. So that the Marksman has plenty of time to just press the square button again. And usually if you're doing it, if you do it too fast, if you do the forward aerial bravery too fast during the thing, it's possible that your Marksman actually won't have time to do their search HP attack again before the enemy can get out of it. So you really want to make sure that you go slowly through it. Yeah, so this is why, like, having a Marksman on your team as a Zidane player is so important, because especially with a search HP attack, like, you know, I love Marksman, you know, I love them, but Renault's Meteor, I ain't having none of that. Tick Apocalypse, like, I refuse to deal with your Meteor because I can't set you up for it. I can't like force this interaction with you and force them to get hit by the HP attack. So, like, I love search HP attacks on my Marksman. That's all I live for. I live for setting them up. Like, I just think it's so beautiful. Okay, not beautiful because it's really easy to do, but it's like something that Zidane is really good at, and it's something that only Zidane can do. Like, only he can force this interaction where you know exactly what the enemy is gonna do. You don't have to think about it at all, you know, and you know that your Marksman can get this guaranteed hit on them. Like, it's 100% guaranteed to work. And this is important for a Marksman to know too, because if the Marksman sees your Zidane steal from someone, you should immediately use your HP on them. Even though you know it's not going to hit on the first one, you know that it's going to hit on the second one. So you just have to be patient. Know that your Zidane player is going to set you up for the second one. Yeah. Well, anyway, this is where I think that having Ace is the most important, because as I was saying earlier, your Marksman has to use their HP attack twice, but what if they only had to do it once? And that's where Ace comes in. Ace with Monolith Beam only has to use the Monolith Beam on the steal. He can look away from the target after that, because Monolith Beam will move towards the target, and while the enemy stepped, the Zidane will catch them with Scoop Art, and he'll bring them back into the Monolith Beam. So your Marksman is free to change targets, and they don't have to worry about having to press square a second time. They don't have to look at what you're doing and make sure that they time their HP attack correctly, you know, or be like, oh, what if my Zidane player misses? Do I have to cover for them? You know, like, it's a pretty easy thing for them to do. So, I covered that interaction, but there is one other thing I want to go over, and that is the fact that Mug knocks your opponent further away. So, I showed earlier how after a steal you do a sidestep under them, and you have to do a slight dash. You have to actually dash longer for Mug. You have to make sure that you don't do that same dash, because if you just do a short dash, you're not going to be able to hit the enemy with Scoop. You're going to be too far away. So, oh, by the way, this search HP attack thing that I was showing works with any search HP attack. So, Ramza's Holy pre-nerf was so huge that you could actually only have him use it once, and you would put them back inside of the Holy's hitbox, and that was ridiculous. But that got nerfed, so thank God. Yeah, so I really like Ace simply because of Monolith Beam's tracking. It's just a personal opinion, but that's what I love about it. Damn, Esu didn't even step that time. He knew it was over. He was like, there's no point. It's already over. Ooh. Yeah, so Shooting Star, Tree of Saphira. Okay, jump will not come out fast enough. So the thing is, what I'm talking about here is that your oh yeah, so yeah, jump out of steel. Yeah, so if the enemy jumps out of steel, it is actually possible for you to just catch them with Scoop Art anyway. Because Scoop Art has such ridiculous vertical range, it'll catch their jump. And in Shooting Star and Tree of Saphira, I think, well, in my experience, I've actually never seen a Vayne or a Noctis try to use Shooting Star or Tree of Saphira out of a steel. I think that it's slow enough that you're just gonna catch them with Scoop Art. Alright, so I wanted to go into this with Mug, so... Alright guys. So Esu, I want you to just so do a sidestep after I steal from you, and you don't need to use a search HP here, Jay. I just want to show how it'll miss. So if I just do a short dash like that, oh, I did it too soon. My bad. So that's how you want to properly do it. Oh yeah. Oh, Shooting Star and Tree of Saphira are gonna be too slow to use twice, like the search HP attacks of Marksman, unfortunately. I don't think they come out fast enough for a double Scoop Art. So anyway. Yeah, so when you mug from them instead, they're gonna get sent back farther. So when you do that sidestep under them, you have to make sure that you dash further to connect the scoop. Yeah, so if you want Esu, we can try playing some rock paper scissors right now with your options out of steel. Ooh, I thought you were gonna shield drop there. So, oh yeah, that's another thing you can do. If you see them shield drop, you can actually instead elect to dash up to them and then scoop them. And this is especially if you have a ally marksman that you're trying to set up. You know, you can kind of just be focused on that instead of trying to land an HP attack of your own, and elect to scoop them instead, so that your ally can land an HP attack. Yeah, Zidane is broken. Alright. Alright, so I wanted to show the monolith beam thing. Alright, so let's do it. Come here, Esu, after you finish your Writ of Conquest. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, I am messing it up. So you can see how it's like, you go so far from the enemy, especially if they do a step. So you can see like that. You know that they're gonna step, and you just scoop them into the monolith beam, and they're gonna get hit by it because it's tracking them. This also works with a delayed Great Whirl, Dreary Cell, or a Cursor's Storm. Any of those attacks that track the enemy, if Marksman does it late enough, it's possible for you to connect it. Monolith Beam though is the only one that I've seen where your Marksman doesn't have to worry about the timing on it. They can just throw it out immediately, and it lasts long enough that Zidane can scoop them back into it. That's why I think it's his best ally. I was gonna talk about something. Alright, so if they just recover in the air and then fall down without shielding, honestly, that's like so weird. Who does that? Like, who does an aerial recovery and then falls down without shielding? You know, like, no one, I don't know, that's just so weird. If they do that, just dash up to them in neutral air. if they shield your steal, you're kind of stuck. They fall too soon for you to follow up with anything. They can let go of their shield and then just dash away, or do an attack input or sidestep or whatever they want out of it if they shield your steal. Oh, right! I completely forgot about this. I wanted to go over how to avoid steal. So, you can jump over steal. So, Esu. I'll show you again what the steal animation looks like to miss on purpose. So, you see how he kind of like zooms in and then does the steal attacking portion? When he zooms in like that, that's when you jump. You ready? Ooh, I think maybe that's too late. So like, maybe it's more like as soon as you see the animation start, you can just jump over it with if you do a full hop. It might depend on class though, because I know that different classes have like different jumps and stuff. So I can't guarantee that it works on Vanguards, but I have seen Marksman do it to me before, and it's very frustrating. So you should, yeah, if they do a get up recovery and then they don't do anything afterwards, they're just asking to get like a neutral air to the face or a forward bravery to the face. Like, it's just gonna happen. Yeah. So, oh, I also wanted to talk about how. All right, so Esu, come over here. Yeah, come up here and just stay up there. So, you know how a lot of times you're gonna be like this. You're gonna be positioned beneath the enemy, and you're behind like a cliff or something, and the enemy knows that you're looking. They're like, oh shoot, what is he doing down there? You know, I want to know what he's doing. I want to hit him. So then they come to the edge. They get to the edge of the cliff, and then you can scoop them off of it, like that. So if they get too close to the edge, like around like here-ish, I think, you'll be able to scoop them off of it. And this, obviously, the closer they are to the edge, the further this works, or like this works from further away. So, a lot of times you can like bait an enemy into that by hiding behind ledges like this, and they're like, oh shoot, I want to see what that guy's doing. You just regular dash and then immediately do a scoop. This also works for, oh, that was like a perfect height. Esu actually, like right there. If they're chasing after you, if you can go at like this height, if they're coming at you like that, you do that movement I talked about earlier where you do a neutral dash sheer in the air, and then you scoop them out of the air. And you're like, sit down. Take a seat. So, if the enemy is chasing you, and they're above you, look for opportunities to scoop them, because that is like a great defensive option, and it comes out fast. And it puts the enemy in a really bad position because you knock them straight down. Oh right, Esu. I took Solution 9 this time, so shield drop after my steal, because I want to show what it looks like to do Solution 9 on it. So, oh, I did not get close enough. So if you hear the shield drop or you see them do it, you just reactively use Solution 9 on it. Yeah, so talked about that. Alright. So let's see. Alright, so so I wanted to talk about, alright, so last, or not, maybe not last thing, I don't know. We'll see if I want to talk about more stuff. Maybe Tidal Flame. But if these are the enemies that I don't like facing as Zidane is, for assassins, I hate lightning. I don't know what it is, but lightning really bothers me. Lightning just, oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, so anyway, lightning really bothers me because her dash, when she's in her Ravager form, that's what it's called. When she's in Ravager and she uses the dash lightning, That move has humongous verticality, and if you are above her, or you're trying to be above her as Zidane, which as I said is a bad idea because you want to be beneath enemies, but if for whatever reason you're above them, like you're gonna get hit by the lightning. And that is really frustrating to me as a Zidane player because I feel like I have a hard time getting it on lightning because of that. But obviously the thing you have the advantage of is the height because none of her melee attacks have vertical range. They're all the same level attacks. Yeah, Kayn, I kind of don't like seeing either or fighting either, but oh wait, SU, did you choose a character? All right, can you choose Kayn? Because I wanted to show the scoop animation when you clash with them. So oh no. Oh well. I wanted to show one more thing with Ace, but it's alright. So in terms of Vanguards, the one that I dislike seeing the most is Garland. Garland is really difficult for Zidane because, as I said, you want to be beneath him, but Garland's, I don't know which one it is, but he does a bravery attack where his sword kind of like extends out. Oh, which one? Oh, okay, yeah, that one. Yeah, the whip, and it has like a huge range, and it goes in that half semicircle arc. That is the worst, because it'll catch you when you're beneath him, and you're looking for that scoop, but he uses that, and you're like, oh man, like I can't believe, like you're just stuck there. You're like, oh man, I can't even use the scoop on him. Yeah, so SU, this time, like before, use your downward aerial attack. Yeah. Is that his forward one? I forget which one that is. Oh, backwards. Okay. Yeah. So, use it out of the scoop. Yeah. Or I mean, not out of the scoop. Out of the steal. I need you to get hit by the steal though. Yeah, so you can see that they just kind of clash, and that'll happen with any assassin that has a downwards attack like that. Because you both have assassin poise, you're just gonna clash with each other. And if your marksman has not used their search HP attack yet, say they weren't looking when you did the steal, and you're trying to catch the enemy in the scoop for your assassin. If they haven't used their search HP attack yet, the clash will give them enough time for the search HP to hit. As soon as they see that Zidane uses the scoop, like that first part of the scoop animation, they can activate their search HP attack and it'll hit, because the clash puts the enemy assassin enough hit stun to catch them. Oh, I did it too late there. No, I did it. Wow, I did it. Okay, I did the input earlier than you did there. So, why don't I like Kayn? I don't like Kayn because Zidane is just a better Kayn. That's kind of how it feels, unfortunately. Like, I like Kayn as a character. I think he's cool, but there's a lot of stuff that Kayn can do that Zidane can also do. There's very, very few things that Kayn can do that Zidane can't, and they're not as important as the things that Zidane can do and Kayn can't. So that's why I don't like Kayn. So, all right. Well, the other thing I wanted to show, well, the thing I wanted to show with Ace was that when you do Zidane's neutral like this, I talked about how it's possible to carry an enemy out of your ally's search HP. So Jay, use a Surge HP on him here. So see how I like carried him out of it? I was like, oh whoops, my ally was trying to get a hit there and I just carried them out of it. And obviously, you're like as a Zidane player, you're like freaking out. You're like, oh man, like I messed it up. And then you're like, okay, wait, I'll make it up for you. And then you drop the combo. You don't even finish it. You don't go through the neutral. Your marksman isn't gonna have enough time to use their Surge HP again and catch you dropping your combo there. There was no reason for you to drop it, you know? So, the thing about Ace is that, he's an assassin, is that, Monolith Beam lasts so long and it tracks them that your ally can actually use their Surge HP on the first input of your neutral attack. They can reactively see, they can just do it immediately. As soon as your neutral attack comes out, they just use their Surge HP. And then, as long as you don't finish the string, and you just drop them, they will fall into Monolith Beam. And your marksman can just turn away. You know, the ace is like, oh okay, I know he's gonna drop that combo. I can look at other enemies. I'm gonna get a hit here. I just have to be careful about being broken afterwards, you know, like that's why I think Ace is a really good pair for Zidane, is because he doesn't have as much stress as other assassins do, or other marksmen do when they're trying to be set up by a Zidane. You know, normally you have to watch and wait for that second animation attack to come out before you can press the Surge HP attack. But with Ace, you just see their hit and you press the square button and you win. You know, like you don't have to think, which is I think why he's such a good pair for Zidane. Right, so me, I use Kuja, Tidus, and Vaughn mostly. Those are my highest ranked characters, but I also like to use Squall, Locke, and Noctis. Anyway, so yeah. Oh, so okay, wait, here, come here, Esu. So, something that I like to do, and I think is stylish, is to do this. You start landing the HP attack, change targets, dash cancel, and then land your HP attack of Solution 9 without looking at the enemy. As soon as you land that first hit, you know that they're getting hit by your attack. You don't need to look at them. So you change targets, and because Solution 9 is a AoE hitbox around Zidane, you also don't have to look at him when you dash cancel to attack him at the end. You can just be looking at a different target, and then dash cancel and use your HP attack. The same thing as with Squall's Faded Circle. Like if you know that they're gonna go on the wall, and you know where they are, so like even if I wall rush them back into the left, you can always just dash in that direction and use Solution 9. It's not the hardest thing to do. And I think it actually really helps because it forces you to change targets. You're on a different target, and because you're on a different target, you're forced to see what that person is doing. So like something that I will do is a lot of times if I do this, I'll target the enemy marksman because they're the one that is most likely gonna try and interrupt me or save their ally. And I'm like, oh, what are they gonna do? You know, let me did you like how I just caught you in Solution 9 right there? But yeah, so you can I'll change targets to their marksman, see what they're doing, and make sure that when I finish my combo, they're not gonna be in a position to interrupt me. And then I'll just do the dash cancel while still looking at them and in HP. And that whole time, I'm just watching the marksman. I'm just making sure, I'm like checking what they're doing, looking, you know, just making sure that I'm safe, basically. Alright. Is there anything else I wanted to talk about? Like, make sure that I mentioned before I move on to... Oh, right, so one other thing is, alright, Esu, come, let's go up here. So just stay right here. So, remember earlier how I was dashing up to someone on their get up and using my neutral aerial attack? That's another thing I like to do, is I'll wait a little bit. Instead of using my neutral right away, I'll just drop beneath them. And a lot of times the enemy, like SU did it instinctively there, he shielded, you know, and you can catch their shield, and you can set up your ally. And a lot of people will do that. But what if say your marksman or your ally wasn't in position to use an HP attack? Then another thing I'll do is, we're gonna do this again, SU. So another thing I'll do is, I'll dash up, and then when they shield, I'll go beneath them in solution 9. And I think that time the pillar messed with my dash, because usually I get a lot closer. But so yeah, I think maybe I was too far from the wall. But basically, and this doesn't have to be like your neutral aerial knockback. It could be any knockback, like from a summon, for example, Alexander, which everyone takes now, right? Then when they get knocked up and you're dashing up towards them into the sky, you're not gonna get there in time to just straight up use solution 9. I'll drop beneath them, and then a lot of times the enemy, their instinct is to just shield drop immediately. And because they're gonna do that, you can solution 9 directly underneath of them and then catch them with it. And I do that a lot. Or not a lot, but like, if I'm in a position to punish the enemy from Alexander, I'll usually do that, because you're not going to be able to get up to them with a dash, but you are going to be able to catch them with a solution 9 if you catch their shield drop. So alright, so since I think it was Zoro Loco that asked, I will talk about free energy now. Or not free energy, sorry. Tidal Flame. I'll talk about Tidal Flame now. Alright, and Jay, can you choose Ace so I can... Oh wait, actually, Jay, this time... you know what? Never mind. Never mind. It doesn't matter who you choose. I'm gonna talk about Tidal Flame, and then... Actually, wait, what am... sorry. Let me make up my mind here. Sorry, I'm gonna push Tidal Flame slightly more back, because I forgot that I wanted to show you guys what it looks like from a marksman's point of view when a Zidane uses Scoop and like when they're setting you up. So this time, Jay, you're gonna play Zidane, and I'm gonna play Ace. Alright, where is Ace? What outfit do I go? Oh, I only have one outfit. Oh no, I have a winter one. That looks nice. Alright, so I want to show how easy it is to land combos with, or to just combo your Monolith Beam with a Zidane player on your team as Ace. And then also this time we can, Jay can see, or can be doing the inputs for the scoop art and stuff that I was showing earlier. Lightning. Get out of here. Oh my gosh, marksmen are so slow. Alright, let's come down here, where we're in the open area. Alright, Jay. You know what to do. I've done it so many times. That is not what you do. Just use steal on him. Oh my god. I don't understand why it's so difficult for you guys to use steal. Like it's literally the same as doing any other dash attack. Like every character has a dash attack and it's literally the same. So, I did it too late there, but so Jay, after all you have to do is after you do the steal, you're gonna step back underneath of him. So I'll let you do that first. So just oh my god, I don't understand why it's so hard. There you go. Yeah, and then step back underneath, yeah, and then dash towards them. That's all you have to do. And then when you see him do the sidestep from having to dodge monolith beam, you just do a scoop art on him. You know, you input the forward aerial brave. All right, let's try it. You don't have to jump. You just like because you just do the dash and then you input the forward aerial. Alright, let's try this again. I don't know what I do differently. It's hard for me to explain, but you basically sidestep. Wait, Jay, do your steal. Do your steal. That's what it is. You're doing it wrong. Alright, so you have to do that movement that I was talking about earlier, where you press R1 and then do a direction afterwards. Don't just do a direction. That's you can see how there's like this dust trail behind me when I'm doing the dash. That tells you that you're touching the ground. You have to press R1 and then input a direction so that you're in the air. And you should not have that dust trail following behind you. So you press R1 and then input a direction afterwards. All right, so try it now. You shouldn't have to jump. You should already be in the air, and you can tell that because you don't have the dust trail following behind you. Another easy way is to just do a regular. Yeah, see how you did your forward air there. So, another easy way to do it is just to do a regular target dash. Target dashing puts you into the air, but as I said, I don't like to do it because it, what's it called? It shows the enemy what direction you're going to be moving in. Oh, I think we're too close to the wall there. Let's move back out. Alright. Not sure if you were too far away that time, or maybe I was too early with the monolith beam. I'm not sure, but I don't know. Let's try it again. Yep, exactly like that. So it's really easy. You see, I didn't even have to do anything. I was just standing here waiting for it to happen. So, alright, so now this time, instead of doing the steal, just do your neutral aerial attack. That's neutral ground. Yep. Yeah. So I'm gonna just use monolith beam as soon as I see you get hit by that, and you're just gonna drop it after the second input. All right. So it looks. I know it looks sketchy. It doesn't look like it should connect, but the enemy does not have enough time to do a step and get out of it. Jay and I have tested it, and it is true. Let me just hide behind hide behind my Zidane player right here. But so yeah, so if that's why I like Ace as my marksman, because since the enemy or like since I don't want to have to think, you know. Yeah, you did the scoop too early there. You were predicting that he was gonna step, and you did it too early there. You have to reactively use it. Like that's what makes playing Zidane easy, and a lot of people like. I agree. Zidane is easy to play, and he's broken for what he can do. You just react to the scoop. Yeah, you just react to the step. You know, you see that they stepped, you scoop, and it's not a hard thing to react to. So yeah, so let's show the neutral aerial again. Oh, I was behind it. Oh, well, yeah. So you can see how it just caught up to them, but I want to get a better angle on it so that everyone can see it. All right. Oh, my bad. I did it way too late. But yeah. No, that was my fault. Okay, wait. Move back out here, guys. Alright, yeah, here's a good spot. Oh. Never mind. I think that one I did it too early. But oh really? Oh, yeah. Then yeah, it's just that easy. You see them that time I did it like how you normally would, because I'm used to seeing Zidane's animation, so I know when to press it. But yeah, you can, as an ace, you can just immediately throw out your monolith beam and then turn away, because it's gonna connect. You don't have to worry about it. All right. Well, I'm actually kind of glad you ended the match there, because that was about it I wanted to show from a marksman perspective. So now I'll move on to Tidal Flame. Yeah. I don't really mind Jet. Jet is not, like, I don't think he's that much of a problem for Zidane. But then again, I feel like Jet players, you just have to be really skilled to play Jet. Like, I respect Jet players a lot. He's hard to use. Alright, so now, yeah, I'll use Tidal Flame. So Tidal Flame Zidane is very interesting, to say the least. Very, very interesting. So the thing about Tidal Flame is that, yeah, I'm willing to answer any questions, or like, if you guys have questions about Zidane, now is your chance to ask me about them. So just, you know, throw out questions. So thing about Tidal Flame is that it's slow, so you cannot use it out of a wall rush, and the most important thing about it is that it dispels the enemy. All of Zidane's HP attacks have some kind of effect, whether it's on him or the enemy. So, for example, Free Energy applies the Steel debuff, you know, and the Steel buff to you. Solution 9 puts you in Trance. Tidal Flame debuffs the enemy if they get hit by it. So if they used Mighty Strikes and HP regen, it'll remove those buffs from them if you can hit them with it. That's a big if though, because you have to hit them with it. So I personally, yep, I really dislike Garland. I really dislike him. He's like my arch nemesis. Oh, I almost forgot about that. I didn't take notes on this, but oh well, maybe I can go over it later. So anyway, so with Tidal Flame, you can see that it tracks the enemy. The pros of Tidal Flame is that it lasts a pretty long time. It has like semi-tracking, has humongous vertical reach. You can see that it's going pretty high into the air. And the thing is that, in my opinion, the biggest pro is the humongous sound that it makes. Like, that is so loud. You can barely hear what else is going on around you, and that can be really distracting to the enemy, especially if they're listening for sound cues for certain moves. Like you can kind of hear how that Holy went off behind me from the Terra. Like that's a move that you know what it sounds like, and so you kind of know what she's doing, even if you can't see what she's doing. So yeah, it kind of is like the vertical Razor Gale. So the way you play around Tidal Flame is you try and bait the enemy into it. So I'm just gonna watch here. So anyway, what you do is you. All right, come back over here. So we're like back in the open. So you So you use Tidal Flame on them, and then you come in from the opposite direction, and you try and direct them back into the way the Tidal Flame is coming from. Like that. So if they're trying to approach you, this, like, honestly, Tidal Flame is not something I would recommend taking at anything higher than, like, Diamond rank, because enemies know how to play around it, but if you're lower than that, then, like, a lot of times the enemies want to just go aggressive. They just want to go ham. You know, and they see, they're like, oh, Tidal Flame, you know, they dodge out of the first part of Tidal Flame, and they're like, oh, it missed me. And then they start dashing at you. So what you do is you kind of go in the same direction, and you try and hold them long enough for the Tidal Flame to circle back around and hit them. You kind of you basically self-set up yourself. And another way you can do this is by using, wait, let me do this, Esu. So another way you can do this is by using Steel. So you wait, you know, you land the Steel, and you Scoop Art on them. And Tidal Flame lasts long enough that it'll reach back to you and hit them before, and you know, hit them at the the very end of the animation, basically. So that's how you play around it, but it's like really hard to do. It's so situational that you'd want to do it. Wait, actually, can you get hit by the Tidal Flame? I want to show the dispel effect. So you can see how he has the buffs next to him. When he gets hit, Dispelga shows up, he's been dispelled, and the buffs go away. It won't remove any like unique EX skill buffs, so if a Vayne is charged up, it's not going to remove that from him or his allies, or a Kuja EX skill, but it will remove any of the non-unique ones, so that's like, I guess it's kind of a benefit, but I don't think it's worth taking Tidal Flame over one of his other HP attacks, because Zidane has so much melee potential. Like he's such a good character when you're close to an enemy that that you're gonna get those wall rushes. It should not remove Maleficium from ulti because it's a unique thing to her. Like if I hit Esu here, it shouldn't remove his well, he got killed by it because he stepped out of it the first time. But if he had the Soul of Carnage buff, which like hit me a few times so that you get that buff. So like he has a Deranged Soul buff, and you can see how it's next to him. When he gets hit by it, Dispelga shows up, but the buff doesn't disappear. So it doesn't remove anything that's unique to a character, but it will remove anything that's yeah, like a global Mighty Strikes for HP regen. So Tidal Flame, like it's because Zidane is such a melee focused character. Like, yeah, oh that's right. Like if you use Tidal Flame in a wall, it disappears. Tidal Flame gets eaten by walls. So you can't like wall rush someone with Tidal Flame as easily. You have to, I think, yep, you have to like, I don't know, it's hard. You would have to already be right up in their face, and like, I don't know, it's just like, I don't like Tidal Flame. I'm just against it. But if you want to use it, if that's your style, then sure, go for it, I guess. That's another thing you can do if you think the enemy is gonna fight you on their getup. Just Tidal Flame in their face. And, you know, they're gonna get hit by it. Obviously, since it's an HP, it'll go through things like Terra's Tornadoes or any of the traps or Kefka's Core and stuff. Like, so there's that. Yeah, that move is like such a hard Zidane counter, because they're just looking for the scoops. We're just always looking for that sweet scoop. I like how Jay is just spamming it. Alright, so I guess I don't know. Oh, I'm just gonna hit him here. But Tidal Flame, yeah, it can be used to protect Marksman, but it's like you can do that just as easily by going up and meleeing the enemy. Like, yeah. Alright. Right, there is a few niche things that I wanted to talk about. Alright, so Esu, this time you're gonna take either Mirage Dive or Slice and Dice. Take your pick. And I'm gonna interrupt it using... Alright, so Jay, you're gonna take Zidane with free energy, and I'm gonna take Solution 9. So, I said that I've said this before, and it's something that I like to do personally because I think it like is super tilting to the enemy. If you interrupt Slice and Dice or Mirage Dive with Solution 9, like, who does that? Who runs up to a Slice and Dice and Solution 9s it, you know? No one does that except for me. So, I personally love interrupting these moves as a melee character. I feel like you're basically asserting dominance over the other assassin. You're like, check this out, you're not safe. So Esu, use Slice and Dice on Jay here. Oh, I did it too late there, my bad. Alright, try again. Ooh. Yeah, so the thing about... I'm glad you took Slice and Dice over Mirage Dive, is that... I don't know if you guys could see it, but I was close enough that my Solution 9 hitbox went into Slice and Dice. But the thing is that the way that Tidus moves through Slice and Dice is he's, like, moving around the sphere. So it is actually possible that Solution 9 will miss if Tidus happens to be on the opposite side of the sphere when the explosion goes off. So let's do it again. So it is possible to interrupt it like that. But it's careful though, because it's careful. It's dangerous because obviously you're getting really close to the Slice and Dice hitbox. Yeah, as you can see, free energy, it's even easier. You can be really far away, and I'll try to get the camera in a position where it'll show it. But you don't have to be that close to it, and you can still interrupt it. And since free energy kind of locks onto the enemy Tidus, yeah, you're like being too careful, Jay. But it's alright. You can yeah. So free energy, it's really easy to interrupt it with because you can just kind of run up and you don't even need to get that close. You can just free energy it, and free energy should lock onto the Tidus with enough accuracy that it'll interrupt it consistently. So, go for it, Esu. Like, Jay didn't even have to think about his positioning there. You know, he just presses square and he gets a hit. Whereas for Solution 9, you kind of have to watch your spacing. Oh, damn. Esu's asserting dominance. He's like, but what if I just catch both of you in it instead? So yeah. So I'll try and show it again with Solution 9. If you can catch Jay in it. Oh, I was too late there. The hit still went off, but you could see that I like got him at the very end of Slice and Dice. Yeah, so so that time you can see like it's dangerous. You're getting really close to Slice and Dice. You can easily miss space and enter it on accident. So when you're doing this, you have to be careful. The time that I usually do this is if my ally is wall rushed and they're right next to me. So if they're like say me and Jay were like on the wall over here, and Slice and Dice got used on Jay and he's right there, like I know that I'm not currently in Slice and Dice, so I'll just jump and in Solution 9. And it'll usually catch the Slice and Dice without me having to worry too much about having to dash in and like properly space it. I just jump up so that I'm at the right height equal to them and in Solution 9 there so that I can interrupt it. There was something I remembered something that I wanted to talk about, and then I was like, oh, I'll talk about it later because I can't right now. Alright, well... yeah, so... Alright, well... Esu? Shall we, play some Jankenpo with steel? I'll see if I can catch you. Ooh, you baited out my Solution 9 there. Like, literally, I saw your shield and I was like, I'm gonna Solution 9 here. I don't remember what I was gonna talk about. This is really frustrating. Like, I know there's something else I wanted to talk about, but I can't remember what it is anymore. Oh! This is a good time. Alright, so Esu, shield my scoop art. I'm gonna try and use Solution 9 on you. Oh my gosh, I was too high there. Still too high. Alright. Alright. Oh, that's gonna break you. Yep. Alright. And I'm like not doing the dash correctly. Let's just wait for your thing to come back. Alright. Oops. I'm just gonna ignore the fact that I did the wrong input there. So that's what I mean by doing the Solution 9. You do that like dash where you're still right above them, you're not on the same level as them, but you have to you have to be above them still yet, but yeah. And it should be a true combo. It should, and by should be I mean like sometimes I mess it up and the enemy is able to step out of it and then I'm stuck in a pinch. But nope, it's fine. Classic combo. Yeah. So Jay's got my back. Alright. Yeah. I can't remember what it was I wanted to talk about though. There was something else. I don't know.
少年時代に別れを。
引き受けた。偶然だよ。
お前に夢を見せ。
大したもんだ。俺を殺しに来たんだろ。
いいでしょう。
姉さん、結婚してください。
なりません。
I don't know what it was. Alright, well, does the chat have any specific questions for me? Anything they want me to test right now? They're curious or... yeah. How do you win the game? So it's very simple. You just kill the enemy 3 times. Easy to do. Guaranteed victory. Works 100% of the time. Alright. I guess I'll just scoop forehead. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so as a Zidane player, if you're not like, my personal belief is that Zidane exists to... Yo, Scoop Art plus Meteor really is every tournament in Japan. And so when I said that Ace is like the best marksman for Zidane, I mean specifically with just the Monolith Beam interaction. Like, there are obviously better, like, I think that there are better marksmen than Ace. You know, like, Ace is just kind of a classic marksman. He's not the best, and I think there are better ones. But if you just want that easy interaction with a marksman, and you don't want the marksman to have to think too much about getting a setup or anything, that's what I mean by Ace is the best one to pair with him. I also really like Renoa, simply because I feel like Renoa can keep up easier with like the assassin's aggression, and actually, yeah, Jay, can you choose Renoa? I want to test something really fast. And take Apocalypse. Yeah, but really, Terra's Meteor, I mean, it's just the classic matchup with Zidane. They both have Trance, you know, they're just matching. That's just what it is. Alright, so this time, Jay, instead of using Apocalypse immediately after the steal, I want you to wait, and I want you to do it like as late as possible, if that makes sense. Like when he's doing his get up animation, do it then, or like late in the get up animation.
Okay.
Oh yeah, so with Jet, obviously, if you're in a 1v1 situation and you steal from him, you have to be careful about using Scoop Art right away, because he could potentially just Jet block it immediately. Yeah, so anyway, alright, you guys ready? I think I did it too late there. I've seen it before where, with other marksmen besides just, Ace, I've put them back inside of the Search HP attack with my marksman only having to press it once, but I don't know exactly when it is. I don't know when exactly that happens. Oh, I'm doing it too late. Or too early, I mean. No, I don't know what it is. Maybe it's if you do it even later. Like, even later than that. Yep, there we go. So if your marksman does it extremely late, but it has to be late enough that the enemy is still forced to do a sidestep. You know, or like it has to be in that there's like a specific window where if you don't use it in that time window, the enemy won't be forced into doing a sidestep, and then it's no longer a forced interaction, and you can't guarantee that you're gonna get the hit. Alright, Esu. So this time after I steal from you, let's just see that jet block come out. Yeah, so as you can see, it's very easy. Do a falling jet block. You're just like, let me rub it in your face more that I got the counter there. That move that Renoa has is so confusing to me because it looks like Ramza's Holy, and I like expect it to be an HP attack, and then I'm always like baited. I'm like, oh, it's just a regular bravery attack. Like, I'm always disappointed. Yeah. So, Jet, you have to be careful, but all right. So, Esu, this time use Jet block. Use Jet block again. Oh, that's another thing. If you use it too late, it is possible for him to still get knocked up and for you to still get stunned. And then it's just awkward. Because you're like, oh, okay, well, now we both can't do anything. But anyway, yeah, so use Jet block after my steal again. You can just wait it out. So that's why I don't find Jet to be that scary. Because the way I play Zidane is I play him a lot based off of reaction. I try to punish the enemy for their misplays. And if I see that the jet block came out, I can try and just I can usually just punish by waiting it out. Doesn't that bravery attack look like it should be an HP attack? Like, seriously, that thing it's so cool looking, but it's just a bravery attack. Like, why does Renoa get that? Yeah. So, the same. Oh, right. Oh, you just reminded me. I'm so glad you have Triumphant Grasp. All right, Esu, use it on me. Easiest way to dodge Triumphant Grasp with Zidane is so use it again on me, Esu. So you see it come out. You literally just input his forward ground bravery. If you're on the ground for whatever reason, if you're touching the ground, so do it again. Oh, I did it too late there. Try and go a little bit higher into the air, because it's very rare that a jet. It's very rare that a jet is a. So you just. Oh wow, what the heck? I think I did it too early there. But you can use his Zidane's ground bravery to dodge it. Let's try this again. Oh my gosh, it's so weird. Literally, I've seen this happen so many times that I'm confused why it's not working now. I think it's because I'm trying to do it. Yeah, so see how I like went behind him? I don't understand! Why isn't it working? Why doesn't it work when I want to show it? That's how it works. So whenever you want to show something, it just doesn't work that way. But basically because Zidane moves so far forward, that time I did it way too early. But yeah. Anyway, so you can use it to dodge Triumphant Grasp. Same for Spiral Cut and Sovereign Fist. Any of those dunking attacks. Those might be the only ones No, wait, is there another dunking attack? I don't know. Anyway, if you want to dodge a dunking attack, you can use his forward ground. But it's a very niche scenario because it's very rare for Zidane to be touching the ground in the first place. Obviously, you have to be careful about doing this against a jet because they could easily see that you did something weird, like you just suddenly moved around a lot, and they can just jet cancel into something else. So be careful about doing it against that, but if the jet player isn't expecting it, you can oftentimes get behind them using your forward ground. Same for yeah, and then yeah, for Spiral Cut and those other ones. All right, so you try it again on me. I really want to figure out what exactly the timing is on it. All right, so yeah, so when you see him, let's try it again. I want to make sure I'm correct on this. All right, again. That time I did it too late. So yeah. Okay, I'm doing it too, like, those last 3 times, I did it too late. But the first time I did it correctly, so... Alright, I'm ready. You're right. Let me take away some of that brave. Alright. I don't know why I did that. Sorry, I freaked out. Alright, I do it. I'm confused why it's not working, because I've done this in the past before. Maybe I have to do it sooner? Let me just try and do it immediately. Yep. Alright, so yeah, I guess you have to do it immediately, but that was still weird. That wasn't what I wanted to show. Like, even then, I still got hit by the bravery portion of it. Alright, let's try it again. Yeah, so you can use his you can use Zidane's ground forward to dodge out of Triumphant Grasp and Spiral Cut like that, and then punish them afterwards. Honestly, I mean, as you can see, it's like you have to time it correctly. So I would say it's better to just use a regular sidestep. Yeah, so... Alright, well, I think that was about all I had to say, so I'll just recap most of the stuff I went over. So, the movement on Zidane, you're gonna wanna press R1 or whatever is your dash button to do without putting in any direction, so that you're doing a target dash, and then you're gonna input a direction afterwards, so that you're dashing in the air, but you're still really low to the ground. And the reason for that is because you're gonna want to be underneath of the enemy, and you're gonna be looking for those scoops. And that's like, that movement honestly is something that I think is really important for Zidane, because you can trick the enemy into thinking that you're on the ground, and so they're expecting your ground kit, but they're not expecting your air kit. That's what I mean. That's what I meant. I was talking about earlier, where I clashed with him, right? But because I was on the ground first, I could input my backwards aerial. I mean my backwards ground, and it comes out fast enough that it will catch him. Yep. So, anyway, if you clash with the enemy and they're above you, I would recommend using this, because if they have Wrench Shield or you have Mighty Strikes, it'll do a lot of damage, and it's very, very quick amount of damage. And then you're gonna want to be in the air at all times. There's those steel and mug interactions that I was talking about, the playing rock paper scissors or Jankenpo with the enemy, and making sure that you, like, as a Zidane player, you're offered that luxury of being able to react with the player to what the enemy player does. you're, you know, like not a lot of characters have that luxury. A lot of times they have to play like more skill based and more like prediction on what the enemy's gonna do. But Zidane can go off of reaction, and that's why it's easy to learn him, because you basically have a good punish game with Zidane, because you can see what they're doing and then you're like, oh, I'll punish them for that. They stepped, I'll scoop. They shield, I solution 9. You know, they try to do a dash, alright, I'm gonna scoop them immediately. You know, like, it's like, it's kind of dumb. I don't like, I like Zidane, but I don't like how good he is, if that makes sense. And then, oh, something else I wanted to talk about is that, Zidane's backwards air. So I was talking about how, like, you don't want to go against an opponent that has a backwards aerial when you steal from them. You know, you want to be careful about getting hit by that. Zidane forward air and back air is an interesting interaction where it depends on which one comes out first. If his forward air, if the ground Zidane inputs his forward air first, he'll win. It like has enough poise that it'll like poise through the enemy Zidane's backwards aerial attack, and you're still gonna get the full scoop animation. They're not gonna clash. So Zidane is one of the few characters where you can kind of just like Zidane. You have to input your thing, and like I guess this is like with assassins in general. You want to make sure that you're the one doing your input first. But that means instead of playing reactively, you're playing you're predicting what they're gonna do. So like you just have to be careful about that, because if you predict that they're gonna use an aerial bravery attack, but you predict wrong, then you're gonna be left in a bad position. So you don't want to like. What I'm saying is, you don't want to always use scoop immediately on their getup, because then they're gonna know, like, oh, he's gonna always scoop on my getup, I'll just sidestep. And because you're not playing reactively, you're gonna miss. So yep, the rock paper scissors, and then I didn't talk about Kuja either. Kuja, I'm from what I've seen, you always lose to Kuja. I think it's because his hitbox is disjointed from him, so he doesn't clash with you like other assassins would. But you will almost always lose to a Kuja if he uses his aerial backwards and you use your aerial forward. He'll catch you instead. And then, yeah, I think Ace with Monolith Beam is your best partner because he has it so easy. Wow. I thought I was gonna go a lot longer. I'm glad that I did not go more than, or like go to 3 hours. I'm glad actually, because I don't want to like keep my teammates hostage here. Alright, well, that's gonna cover it unless the chat has more questions that they need answered about Zidane. I'll give you guys a couple minutes for that, if you guys have any questions or things you want me to test out. Ooh, Jay has a question. Oh, yeah. You're right. I forgot to tell you what that was. So, Trance will increase the amount of time that Zidane can dash. I believe it also increases the dash gauge recovery. And it changes Steel to Mug. That's the buff that it gives you. But it does not increase his dash speed. It only increases the amount of time that he can dash, which is a common misconception. Yeah. I think that misconception comes from the fact that because he now gets Mug, instead of getting a 5% boost to his speed, he gets a 10% boost to his speed. So that can make a huge difference. And I think that's where that misconception that he just gets a speed buff comes from.
集いなさい集いなさい集いなさい
Alright, well, if there are no more questions, thank you to everyone who tuned in. And I will try to make a broadcast for Kuja later.